How strong is Spider-Man really? That's the question we're answering today. Not the movie version, not the cartoon version. We're talking about the main comic timeline, Earth 616, the Spider-Man that everything else is based on. Peter Parker was just a normal kid from Queens, until a radioactive spider bit him and changed his life forever. He got the strength, speed, and reflexes of a spider scaled up to human size. Since then, he's become one of the most well-known heroes in Marvel, balancing his life as a hero with school, work, and everything else a normal guy has to deal with. That mix of normal guy and superhero is a huge part of why people love him. But here's the problem. A lot of people still see Spider-Man as a street-level hero, someone who's just a bit stronger than a regular person. Today, we're going to prove that's just not true. And to back everything up, I'll be linking most of the comics we talk about today so you can go check them out for yourself. So here's how this is going to work. We're breaking this down into 3 parts. First, his lifting strength. Second, his speed. And third, his attack potency, which is how much damage he can actually deal. Then at the end, we'll put it all together and give you his overall tier. Let's start with lifting strength. Officially, Spider-Man is listed as being able to lift 10 tons, but that number is really just a baseline. Time and time again, he's shown he can go way past it. Let's look at the proof. In Amazing Spider-Man number 628, Spider-Man catches a moving armored truck with his bare hands. Trucks like that can weigh up to 25,000 pounds, and he stops it cold. In Peter Parker Spider-Man number 98, he holds up a massive chunk of the Daily Bugle building after it collapses, keeping it from crushing the people underneath. In Amazing Spider-Man number 424, he holds up an entire subway car, keeping it from falling and killing everyone inside. In Amazing Spider-Man number 694, he stabilizes a Boeing 747 airplane, a plane that can weigh up to 400 tons, and keeps it from crashing. And in Amazing Spider-Man numbers 578 and 579, in one of his most insane feats, he holds up a subway train and at the same time holds back the East River from flooding in and drowning everyone below. Think about that for a second. He's not just lifting a heavy object. He's holding back an entire river with his bare hands, while making sure the train doesn't drop. So when people say Spider-Man is street level, this is the part they always forget about. 10 tons is just the number they put in the textbook. In reality, we've seen him push way past that over and over. Now let's talk about speed. When we talk about speed for a character like Spider-Man, it actually breaks down into 3 parts. Movement speed, which is how fast he can physically move his body over a short distance. Combat speed, which is how fast he can fight, throw punches, dodge, and react while in the middle of a battle. And reaction speed, which is a mix of how fast he can see something coming and how fast he can move to avoid it. Let's look at what he's actually done. Spider-Man has dodged lightning from Electro. Lightning moves incredibly fast, and being able to react to it and get out of the way puts him at massively hypersonic and above. He's also dodged beams of light, ones that are directly stated to move at the speed of light. That means his reaction speed alone puts him somewhere between relativistic and light speed. And here's the important part. His spider sense doesn't do all the work for him. Spider sense can warn him something is coming. But if the attack is too fast for his body to actually react to, the warning wouldn't matter. He still has to be fast enough to move. On top of that, Spider-Man has tagged the Silver Surfer in combat, a being who can travel across galaxies. He's also reacted to Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, and fought Fire-Lord, another herald of Galactus. Feats like these push him up into the faster than light, and even massively faster than light range when it comes to combat and reaction speed. Now, to be clear, none of this means Spider-Man can travel faster than light. These feats are about how fast he can react and fight in the middle of combat, not how fast he can physically travel from one place to another. Those are 2 different things, and it's important not to mix them up. Now let's get into the part everyone's been waiting for. Attack potency. In other words, how much damage can Spider-Man actually deal? Spider-Man has fought the Hulk multiple times, and it's not just that he survives those fights. In some of them, he's actually managed to knock the Hulk out. He's also fought Venom and Carnage, 2 villains who are consistently treated as Avengers-level threats on their own. In Amazing Spider-Man number 430, Spider-Man even tanks a hit from a Carnage-infused Silver Surfer, if only for a brief moment. And then there's Fire-Lord. Fire-Lord is strong enough to destroy an asteroid, the size of a small planet without much effort. Spider-Man beat him using nothing but raw physical strength. That one feat alone from Amazing Spider-Man number 269 pushes Spider-Man's attack potency up to small planetary, even at the lowest possible reading. And keep in mind, these are just a handful of his best and most consistent feats. Spider-Man has been written by a lot of different authors over the years, and not everyone writes him the same way. Some writers have him fighting street thugs. Others have him going toe-to-toe with cosmic threats. That's part of why his power level gets debated so much. But here's something important to understand about Spider-Man as a character. He holds back a lot, subconsciously, without even realizing it. There have been moments where he's angry, even bloodlusted, and he still doesn't go all out. He himself doesn't fully know how strong he actually is, because he's never truly let loose. So scaling him at street level just because some writers portray him that way, or because he holds back, wouldn't be fair or accurate. So here's how we're breaking it down. We're looking at a base, no holding back version of 616 Spider-Man, using only feats that are consistent and repeated, not one-time flukes. For a low ball, using the most conservative reading of his feats, Spider-Man scales to small planetary. For a mid-ball, a fair middle ground, he scales anywhere from planetary to galaxy level. And for a high ball, using his absolute best feats, Spider-Man scales to universal and above. And honestly, there's room to go even higher than that if you really want to push it. For example, the Hulk has been shown destroying a universe with a single clap in one storyline, and the Marvel universe as a whole can be scaled up to outerversal levels if you bring in the full cosmology. If we apply that same logic to Silver Surfer, it would push Spider-Man even higher too. But there's also plenty of room to bring him lower, depending on how strict you want to be with your standards. What we've laid out today is what we believe is the most fair and consistent scaling for Spider-Man based on real repeated feats. One more thing before we wrap this up, and it's important. Attack potency is not the same as destructive capacity. Just because Spider-Man is strong enough to hurt characters who scale that high doesn't mean he's capable of destroying planets or universes himself. He's not out here blowing up worlds. He's just strong enough to fight and hurt people who could. So putting it all together, when it comes to attack potency and strength, Spider-Man sits somewhere between Galaxy and Universal Plus. And when it comes to speed, he's sitting at massively faster than Light Plus. Not bad for a guy people still call street level. Let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know who you want to see scaled next.